got to start from a place. Put it like this. I don't know if you heard of this Green Deal where they want to take 70% of anyone that makes over $10 million, 70% of their income.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. It's the dumbest thing ever.
That's AOC, right? Is that her idea?
It's the dumbest thing ever, right?
I don't mean, I wasn't calling her. I said that.
I like her.
I was saying good luck with the expression.
Yes.
This nonsense from like AOC that he should be impeached is just absurd. Absurd. There's no... Okay, get back to me when you've read the Constitution or get a law degree, because you sound like an absolute idiot. There is absolutely no ground to impeach the...
Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly have teamed up for a blistering critique of AOC that is as captivating as it is ruthlessly honest. Joe brings his signature raw, unfiltered wit, while Megyn provides a sharp, calculated breakdown of the facts. Together, they dismantle AOC's performative brand of politics, highlighting massive logical gaps and her penchant for theatrical indignation. From the fiscal fantasies of the Green New Deal to her carefully curated social media outbursts, they let nothing slide in this high-energy roast. If you thought the Congresswoman was untouchable, this powerhouse duo proves that the influencer shield is finally cracking. They are stripping away the glamour, challenging the actual results, and forcing a hard conversation about political substance.
Here's the thing. First of all, you've got incompetent use of funds. Like,
where does the money go?
Exactly.
All our taxes, where does it go?
This idea that if you tax the rich, that all of a sudden all the problems will stop existing. That is so silly. You still have incompetent people that are distributing the money. They'll just create more jobs. There'll be more red tape.
And we get more in debt.
Yeah. What we got to do is figure out a real plan for engineering our civilization.
Leans into her fake Latina accent.
Right now. Oh man, the girls are fighting, aren't they?
She's above it all, Ben. That's what she's trying to telegraph. You see, she's the adult in the room.
I think this breakup we've been seeing a long time coming, but we'll see what the impacts are.
And she's the adult.
Joe couldn't suppress a smirk if he tried. A look of pure disbelief washed over his face before he even uttered a single syllable, with genuine laughter bubbling just below the surface. To him, the entire situation had reached a level of peak absurdity. Sitting right in the crosshairs was AOC, the social media savvy lawmaker who has mastered the art of turning every legislative moment into a choreographed, one-woman stage play.
The president, he 100% was within his constitutional authority and his congressionally authorized authority to do what he did on Saturday. Okay, but as for whether it's a good idea, that's a debate we should be having. And look, you know, if we could get congressional approval of the specific action, fine, I'm okay with that too. If you want to bring it to Congress, go ahead and see how that goes. I don't think it's necessary, but...
Joe leaned toward the microphone with the timing of a veteran comic preparing a killer closing bit. He didn't need a script. AOC provides the material herself every single day with her constant proclamations, scripted anger, and viral clips masquerading as actual leadership. He wasn't interested in a dry policy debate. He was there to enjoy the comedy of it all. To Joe, listening to AOC explain the intricacies of the economy was like watching a house cat try to operate a flight simulator. She's got plenty of focus and energy, but she is completely oblivious to the fact that she's heading in the wrong direction.
Did you see the Green New Deal, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
No.
So she publishes, it's a non-binding resolution, which means that even if it passes, they can't enforce anything. But my God, the fact sheet they released alongside it literally said they want to provide economic security for people who are unwilling to work.
He began by deconstructing the image. AOC, the lifestyle brand, not AOC, the stateswoman. Let's be honest, she behaves less like a representative and more like a professional influencer who just happens to have security clearance. Joe joked that if getting likes on Instagram counted as passing legislation, AOC would be the ruler of the known universe. But the real world doesn't operate with a beauty filter, and snappy captions don't solve national crises. He took aim at her with a perfect blend of dark humor and cold, hard reality.
And the reason this is relevant is because a congresswoman who you may know as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been telling us for years that she is from the Bronx. And recently she had a fight with President Trump over tweet, text, truth, whatever. And she played tough and said, "Oh, don't you mess with me. I'm a Bronx girl. And we eat Queens boys for breakfast." Because that's where Trump was
Joe argued that AOC's true genius lies in her ability to talk in circles while maintaining a look of absolute sincerity. She can confidently deliver a completely inaccurate statement as if she's reciting a scientific law. Laughing, he noted how she strings together emotional buzzwords just effectively enough to convince younger followers they're hearing deep wisdom, when in reality, it's just the same tired talking points in a different order. It is a case of arrogance over accuracy, where her aesthetic does all the heavy lifting for her lack of depth.
Whenever there's information that's inconveniently bad for that one side, particularly the left, you don't hear a fucking peep about it on the media.
Right.
It's dismissed. It's like, you know, they'll talk about it like someone said someone talked about the Hunter Biden laptop and said it was like half fake. That was like a term. AOC half fake. That's right. That is such a horrible violation of the trust that the people who elect.
Her most effective tool, Joe claimed, is her sense of moral superiority and righteous fury. Whenever AOC takes the floor, she acts as if she's just discovered that gravity is a tool of the patriarchy. She takes a simple concept, smothers it in emotional rhetoric, and presents it as a monumental human rights violation. The audience cheers not because her math checks out, but because they've been conditioned to react that way. Her speeches aren't about finding solutions. They are additions for a larger-than-life role. Every appearance in the House feels like a dramatic monologue intended to secure a spot on a political soap opera. Joe joked that if melodrama were a currency, she'd have funded the government for a century. Ask her about the cost of living, and you get a lecture on social theories. Ask about the power grid, and you get metaphors and dreams funded by a taxpayer who didn't sign up for the bill.
Probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I've ever met, seen, or witnessed.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met, or seen, or witnessed.
This guy's one of the most morally vacant, but also just least knowledgeable about these systems that we know of, she said.
I mean, this guy is one of the most morally vacant, but also least knowledgeable about these systems that we really...
Then he turned his attention to the Green New Deal. Joe characterized it as a hallucinogenic fever dream written on a napkin during a high-end vegan brunch. It involves trillions in spending with no roadmap for reality and enough fantasy to make a storybook character blush. It wasn't a serious proposal, he argued. It was climate-themed theater with AOC playing the lead as an emotionally volatile environmental hero. She claims to represent the working class while broadcasting from a luxury residence decked out in high-fashion activist attire. It's champagne socialism, Joe remarked, a latte in one hand and a lecture for the common people in the other. He wasn't even angry, just entertained. AOC isn't a threat, he suggested. She's a polished act that accidentally stumbled into the halls of power. It's less of a House of Representatives and more of a House of Mirrors.
And respectfully, AOC. Well, that's real cute, except she only lived in the Bronx until she was age 5, when at best you're in usually kindergarten, maybe first grade. And she spent the rest of her childhood, 1 through 12th grade, in Yorktown Heights, which is Westchester. And by any measure, it is richer, nicer, and more white collar than the Bronx, with all due respect to my friend.
That's when Megyn took over. There was no joking around, just cold, surgical precision. While Joe found the humor, Megyn Kelly performed a digital autopsy. She treated AOC as a case study in manufactured perception. Her meteoric rise, Megyn noted, had been packaged as a Disney-style fairy tale, the humble bartender taking down the giants with nothing but a dream and a smartphone. But beneath that narrative was a fundamentally unprepared radical with more livestream hours than legislative achievements. OC talks like she's storming the gates of the establishment, Megyn said, but she governs like she's still looking for the restroom. She isn't dismantling the system. She's performing resistance under the glow of a ring light. Building a following came first. Learning the actual lawmaking process was an afterthought.
History of public disagreements with Mr. Musk, particularly over his Department of Government Efficiency. Ocasio-Cortez was particularly critical of the involvement of young staffers, saying they don't do their homework clearly, and adding that 19-year-olds were being placed in key positions at the Treasury Department.
They don't do their homework. Clearly, they're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart.
I love it. Only he would do that because he understands internet culture, and he understands genius.
Then she addressed the blatant hypocrisy. AOC routinely attacks the capitalist system while fully exploiting its power to build her personal brand, hawking merchandise and managing her image like a celebrity at a high-fashion gala. If you point this out, you're immediately branded as an agent of the patriarchy. Megyn didn't let her off the hook. She called it designer outrage, custom-built for her followers and sold back to them at a markup. AOC doesn't engage in debate, Megyn argued. She relies on accusation. If you disagree with her, you're either an enemy of the planet or a hater of the poor. Her primary strategy is inflating minor policy disputes into Shakespearean tragedies where she is always the misunderstood hero.
Wants this to be part of her origin story, the same way as she wants now to be called Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Meanwhile, everyone knew her as Sandy Cortez when she was growing up, and her lies are coming to the fore. So, among other things, Benny Johnson, who's hilarious, and he's a great Twitter follow and has a great show, went to Yorktown Heights just to take a look and to talk to some folks there about AOC and what Yorktown is like and so on. And now some of her schoolmates, separate and apart from Benny, are weighing in on her claims. I'll get to the Benny thing in 1 second, but there was a piece in the New York Post talking about how she's embarrassing herself.
AOC's true talent, according to Megyn Kelly, isn't statecraft, it's grievance. She has weaponized victimhood into a permanent political strategy. Every hurdle is framed as a national emergency, and nothing is ever her fault. When things fall apart, she either performs a breakdown for the cameras or blames a shadowy conspiracy. She isn't dangerous because of her ideology, Megyn argued. She's dangerous because she pioneered influencer politics. It's a world where emotions trump evidence, likes are more important than laws, and fame replaces actual accountability. In that environment, tears are used as currency, hashtags replace hard work, and AOC is the undisputed queen of the trend.
Did you hear what AOC said? She said the people that they're coming in to this country, most of them, it's because of climate change.
Often people want to say, why aren't you talking about the border crisis? Or why aren't you talking about it in this way? Because it's not a border crisis, it's an imperialism crisis, it's a climate crisis, it's a trade crisis.
It's amazing.
As I have already said, even during this term and this president, our immigration system is based and designed on our carceral system.
Joe jumped back in for one final shot. Every time an AOC clip goes viral, he joked, a real economist loses their mind. It's not just that she provides the wrong solutions. It's that she seems completely uninterested in understanding the problems. To Joe, she represents total confidence divorced from any actual competence. And the circus shows no signs of leaving town. She has a team to handle the lighting, a fan base ready to applaud on command, and a calendar full of viral stunts. However, Megyn Kelly and Joe Rogan both agreed on a vital point. The critique is necessary, because when theater replaces policy and clout replaces actual progress, someone has to step up and tell the actress the show is over.
The U.S. has disproportionately contributed to the total amount of emissions that is causing a planetary climate crisis right now.
Oh, that's
I'm like
the only
waiting, like,
reason? That's the
is there
reason.
more?
Has the climate changed more than I know? Do you know something I don't know?
But who is bearing the brunt of that? It's actually not us. We help create the problem, but disproportionately it's the global south that are going to be experiencing the floods, wildfires.
Megyn wasn't done yet. She shifted her focus to AOC's newest mission, deconstructing every traditional institution without having a single viable plan to replace them. That isn't progress, she noted. It's destruction for the sake of a selfie. If AOC were in charge, the Constitution would be traded for a social media feed governed by vibes rather than facts. She only trusts the systems she can dominate, and her version of a republic looks more like a chaotic group chat fueled by rage and algorithms. Joe Rogan joined in, mocking how AOC is treated as a deep thinker by people who believe leaving a comment is the same as participating in democracy. She isn't solving problems, he concluded. She's just live streaming the chaos for her own benefit. If she ever put her ideas into a book, it would be nothing more than a collection of deleted rants and elevator arguments. If you want more honest breakdowns of the people in power, make sure you subscribe to the channel now.